it's no use. Cracked door case and tape deck won't spin, but I see the story underneath the skin. Pull every screw, lay it out clean like a time machine, frozen in between. Not just a fix, now I go all the way, bringing yesterday back to today. They call it junk, I call it gold. Every scar's a story that deserves to be told. I bring it back to life, one part at a time. From the silence to the sound, hear it come alive. Old school soul with a brand new drive. Yeah, P.I.T.C.O keeps the past alive. 40 more years, yeah, that's the plan. Built by heart, rebuilt by hand. From landfill goes to a second chance. Turn it up loud, let the old tech dance. New old stock, or I'll make it myself. If it don't exist, I build it on the bench shelf. Capacitors, fresh belts running true. Heads cleaned up like they just left 72. Cassette decks humming, preview meters glow. That warm old sound you just don't get no more. 8-track rolling vinyl spinning round, that crackle and warmth, that's a real sound. They threw it away, said it's out of time, but I'm bringing it back, line by line. I bring it back to life, one part at a time. From the silence to the sound, hear it come alive. Old school soul with a brand new drive. Yeah, P.I.T.C.O keeps the past alive. 40 more years, yeah, that's the plan. Built by heart, rebuilt by hand. From landfill goes to a second chance. Turn it up loud, let the old tech dance. Live on the stream, yeah, you can watch it rise. From broken down to a full surprise. YouTube nights and Twitch on fire. Watch dead machines get the spark back wired. It ain't just repair, it's respect for the craft. For every piece of history they tried to scrap. Hear that click, hear that whir. That's the sound of the past returning. So I bring it back to life. Hear the power ignite. From forgotten dust to shining bright. Keeping legends breathing through the night. Yeah, P.I.T.C.O makes it right. 40 more years and maybe more. From broken bits to a roll once more. If it made a sound, I'll find a way to bring that old tech back to stay. So don't throw it out, don't say goodbye. There's still a spark if you just try. From the bench to the world, let's keep it alive. P.I.T.C.O-Tech-Repairs, we revive.
Welcome back to the stream, everyone. And first of all, let's do a bit of housekeeping with Can You All Hear Me point and the background music. Hopefully, if there's any, it's not sort of gonna be blasting anyone's ears off. I don't think there is, so we're all good to go. Okay, now someone let me know. Well, okay, we've got a few of the regulars in. We've got Stu. Well, welcome, Stu. We got Zai Eagle. We got Chill and Relax. Good to see you guys. We got XX Dar as well. I'm sure I've seen P.I.T.C.O as well. Yes, P.I.T.C.O as well. Okay, right. while we're waiting for others to come in, we'll carry on from where we left off on the last stream, which we removed the 8-track from the housing, wooden housing, and as you've probably seen, the transformer part came out completely unattached to anything. I have tested the transformer and that's tested good. It's outputting 12 volts. However, this first initial capacitor is leaking. I don't know if anyone can see that on cam. Stu, hope you're well, P.I.T.C.O, buddy. Of course, chat. Yeah, we're all good. We're all good, Stu. Hope you're doing well too. But yeah, this capacitor's slightly leaking a little bit and it's reading a little bit all over the place, so we'll replace this. Also, I noticed with this is the mains comes in directly to the transformer, and what do we like to see before we get to the transformer? Hopefully someone can tell me. Also, where have we got to since the last stream, because I've haven't been able to help myself and sort of got up to a few things. So first of all, let's take this off. And first off, basically just with a bit of IPA in through the holes, has removed these trims. And same for this one here. I don't know if you can see the dirt that's, so we can get some light on it and show you the dirt on that. Where's the camera? Around these holes. So these obviously need to come off and be cleaned, and a little bit of a gentle bit of persuasion. That one should come out the same. This was quite high in places with the glue that they daubed on there, so I just took the little, you know, Dremel pen that we all use, grained that down. So one of the sessions we'll mask all this, prep the chrome and respray the chrome on one of the sessions. I'm sure that'll please the missus. Also, this part is the rubber part that some of you have seen on the Discord, and basically this is rubber and it's all brittle, so if I mess with this too much it just crumble in my hands. So luckily I think I found somebody that can 3D print one of these, so after the stream that will get posted off to Philly Bob to 3D print a plastic version of this instead of a rubber one, so that will be good. Oh yeah, GTA Devil, I've bought one of your limited t-shirts. Oh, thank you for that. And yeah, I don't think you're not too far from me, so if you was actually bring that to me, I can sign it for you. I'm only doing 3 of those shirts, so once all 3 are gone, that's it. What's next? What we said we would do is we'll strip this mechanism down today, but also I removed the bottom label off of the cabinet, put it face down onto this piece of cardboard because it's just a foil strip that's got the writing on it, and that just roll up and shrivel up else, so put it face down so it's easy to remove and put back onto the cabinet later. Also the identification or serial number or whatever that was on there, again preserve that. What else? The belt that was new in the packet last time you seen, I have actually tested it on this and it does actually fit perfectly, so we know we're good for a belt. These other bits as well I've taken off and we can clean them up independently and put them back on. This part here, which is just the like phones jack, if you like, we'll take that off. And yes, as you can see, I've already played with some of the wiring and stuff, taking it apart, which requires a hell of a lot of photos in every direction, so you know where, so I know where everything goes. and put when I come to put it back. But all these wires I'm replacing, because a lot of them I've noticed have some like knots in them, which could be a potential break in the wire. Some of them have some little chips in them and stuff like that. So I'm just going to replace all the wiring just to eliminate any problems that we might get down the line. Also, this back plate here is going to be completely changed for what we was mentioning last stream about the push, the brass fittings with the push, and slide the wire in for the speakers. And now we're down to the mechanism, and underneath the mechanism, if we just move that over, we have the boards. This is the rear capacitor board. Basically, it's like a smoothing cap with some diodes and that on there. This capacitor needs replacing as well. It's not too bad, it's not far out. It's probably one of the best capacitors in the whole thing, but since we're changing majority of the caps, we might as well just say sod it and change them all, and at least we can then say it's had a full recap. But most of these other components have tested okay, although the wiring again leaves a bit to be desired, so we'll change all of that. And as you can probably tell from this board, it looks a little bit depopulated. Now this board was covered in thick. Now I don't know if a lot of you, I mean Stu might know, and Chris, if he's around, he might know as well, but a lot of this vintage gear, when they make it in the factories, not only do they put the conformal coating on, but they then spray it with like a wax oil, which it will dry over time, but as soon as you hit it with a bit of IPA, it will go all stodgy and sticky and gooey. So this has all had a good bath, and it's fully clean and looks 100% better than it did if you compare it to how the board looked on the last stream. I've also removed a lot of the capacitors. Now these 4 that remain here, these tested okay, but since we're going to change the other capacitors, it would be a shame just to leave 4 original ones in there. We might as well just change them as well during the stream and have the thing fully recapped. The board itself is not too bad. I was a bit worried about it sort of delaminating. There is one spot just, let me just see if we can zoom you in a little bit. I don't know if that's too blurred, but just there you can see where that's delaminated there, but it's on a trace which just literally goes next door to the next door component, so dead easy to fix that one, but the rest of them again are fine. So that leaves us back to this main mechanism, and as you can see, it's just the main mechanics of the machine. Now anyone knows the classic sort of normal tape decks where he takes the little tapes like this, anybody who knows those tape machines, you'll know that they've got lots of mechanisms, lots of moving parts, lots of sliders, lots of springs, levers and cogs and all sorts here, there and everywhere. With this, well, these tape machines can't be any simpler really. Literally it's a motor and with a belt goes to a flywheel. That is it. There's not even a play, there's not a fast forward, there's not a rewind button, there's nothing on it. It's just you bang the tape in and it plays, and you press buttons to change tracks. It's as simple can be. So yeah, we're going to go through and check a few of these parts. First of all, one of the things I want to do is maybe clean this brass like pulley, if you like, that's on this motor a little bit before we disassemble it, because it's easy to do while it's in there. And we just hook it up to some power first, and let's hold that one over as well. Try not to let them touch. Give it a few volts there. This isn't nothing abrasive, really abrasive. It's about 1,000 grit. We're just basically looking to clean off all that corrosion. That's on this top of this motor here. And we take a bit that's folded. You can see the dirt that's coming off it going onto the sandpaper there. And that already looks 100 times better just on that piece alone there, which I'm sure you can all see. Nice and shiny, which is what we like to see. So yeah, next up we'll probably try and see if we can actually get that off. That'll be interesting. It looks like it might go. Yes, we've got that off. Now I've got that off, I might be able to sort of show you just how shiny that is. We'll put that over there. Get rid of that. And well, next, what I want. With vintage gear, I never like to use something like an electric screwdriver because they can be a little bit too sort of coarse when it comes to some of the components on the boards, because they become so brittle that you just slightly over tighten it and things will just give. Again, like I said, this is a very, very simple tape mechanism. Nothing to it. Just a motor, flywheel, and you've got your tape sensor here. When you put your tape in, pushes this up, it triggers the motor, turns the belt, and plays the tape. It's as simple as that. The only other part you've got on it is this part here, which basically selects your track. So when you press track 1, track 2, track 3, so forth, this just basically all this does is raises and lowers the head so to the different tracks. It's as basic as well as they come. So that's the motor, and the motor on here says 20th of February 1973. So it's an old machine, or an old motor at the very least. Right, next up we're just let one go in there. They like to confuse you and use different size screws, of course. This is just the tape guide, which again you can probably see is all corroded on the ends, which again, these are all just brass, so these will clean up really easy. You can clean all this up. We'll clean it all up. Next up, you've got your flywheel. Now, this was on the last stream, this was sort of already disattached as Mick from Chill and Relax left it, but I did reassemble it just so I could show you guys how they assemble and where they go. Basically, it was this little part down in here. Let me see if we can zoom in that. Just there, that little part down there was basically in a bag that when Mick sent it to me, and it locates right at the bottom of the shaft, close to the chassis. because well, you've still got plenty of play further up, so it's tempting when you take these out to put that back in the wrong place, and then that obviously throws the alignment out. So you just got, if you ever needed to take the pulley out, which you shouldn't have to because you don't need to on these for changing the belts, but if you did, just pay attention to where that is and where it goes. And it just releases just like that, slides out, and that is it. You've got a little rubber which we'll put over there. Again, these we'll just spin that, we'll put that into a drill and we'll spin that on a little bit of emery cloth, give that surface a good even clean up, because it is a little bit like, well, it's not sticky, but it's like you can feel where the rubber's been, and that's the part that Mick had put in the bag last time. It's just literally a brass coupling. Right, a lot of you have noticed there was a whole bunch of wires where the circuit board was here, and there's like a little one back here tucked away, which all attached to this. I depopulated that preemptively. And this one can be a little bit tricky because underneath you've got a stud, like a pillar post, whatever they call it, it screws into, and it just swivels if you don't like just support it with your finger a little bit. I did look everywhere to try and find the diagram for this, the schematic diagram, just to try, more so to get the values for when we put it back together and do all the testing, so we can get all the proper readings. And this is just the mechanism. It's just a little bit of board with the wires on, and that just clicks, raises and lowers the heads. So simple but sweet. And that post also supports one of these screws for this, which is the bearing housing for the flywheel. Well, even all these screws that I'm taking out now, all the good ones will basically, they'll all get a bath and be cleaned up as well. If you're going to do a full restoration, you might as well clean every single bit. There's probably not many people in the chat that actually, oh, Boring Brits here, hello, how you doing? I don't know if I missed anyone else, did I? But yeah, don't know if anybody in the chat is old enough to actually remember an 8-track or even know what an 8-track is. Sure there's one or two, but once I play it working properly, they sound much better than any of this modern rubbish that you just download. This is basically just a bearing house. It's not even a bearing as such, because literally all you got is two brass little washers, if you like, pushed into this die cast metal that basically that just spins on, and you can see where they basically sat and span, and we'll clean all that up and clean all the insides of these up and make them good again. And this basically is your head, which basically raises and lowers, you know, on this mechanism, and then you've got your servo there. So let's try and upset that spring a bit. Luckily it didn't spring off across the room, never to be seen again. As you can see, this part is on a spring, and it actually sits like that when it's actually in its proper position. So it's got the tension for moving all this mechanism. Again, we'll take apart and clean. And then we're almost down to the bare chassis. which in itself needs cleaning because, well, I'll show you in a moment, but it's basically, it's not so much dirt on it, it's more a little bit of oxidization. And anyone, well, Mick would know, but when I do a restoration work, I basically restore everything. There's no point in doing it if you're not. So yeah, you can, maybe you can see it looks a bit pitted or a bit dirty. Well, no, you can't see. A bit pitted and a bit dirty on this edge here and across the plate. It looks like dirt, but it's not dirt. It's basically like an oxidation over time. But we'll clear all that up and get it all cleaned up. Same in places, here more so. Okay, what was that one? It didn't even tell me what it was. Oh yeah, it's oh, Zy-Eagle donated. Thank you. Thank you for your kind donation. And we will continue thus forth. Seems to be, I don't know if it's me, but it seems to be, I got that crown, okay. Let's go, the gift came through, I did. And Stu to be is now following, thanks Stu. So yeah, now we're down to the last little piece, which we will remove on this. And then you go this side, which has the bit with the spring on it. What's interesting about the tape head, a couple of things I'll show you in a second, is I don't think you'll see it, but basically it's got a little ridge sticking up on this edge, and the same as a little nodule sticking up on that edge. And when the head sits in there, it doesn't sit flush, it sits proud, so when you screw it up it can either twist one way or the other. That's so you can set your head alignments. And then this will be a little bit of a, there we go. Now I did say on the last stream that the heads didn't look too brilliant, but they might clean up. Well, I don't know if where's the camera gone? Anyone can see that, but let's maybe zoom back out a little bit and try. You see there's a bit of wear on those heads, which might clean up, might just be dirt, but we'll have a look. And you'll notice we desoldered the wires, but we're going to clean these pins up and resolder new ones. And then all you have here left realistically is this, basically when the tape goes in, it pushes against this white wheel inside here, and that just pushes out, and then tape slides in a bit further, and then that clips back in and locks the tape in sort of place, so to speak. That's all it does. This one's just a plastic wheel, just sits there and just guides the tape in and out. So there's nothing to them. There's a few little like rubber bushings here that we'll take off. This one here was rubber at one time, but it has gone so solid it's like solid plastic rather than rubber. So that one we'll probably just cut that and get that one out. And then all this basically can just go straight into a good bath and then a soak for a while, and then we'll take it out and I'll get rid of all this oxidation and sticky stuff that's on it and ready to go. So that'll be that part taken care of. So that'll go into a bath shortly. On these your volume, your tone and your balance is basically all this is. It's all you've got on it. As you can see from this one, there's been a bit of corrosion going on the back of this one, so we'll need to test this at some point and give it all a good clean. But as I said on the last stream, these, you can even see sort of marks here, but these are quite tight to turn. So what we'll do is we'll probably desolder these and get a load of contact cleaner right inside these, see if they free up. If not, we'll have to just basically open these tabs on the side of the caps here and take the backs off and clean them manually. So that's that. Before we progress, I don't know if, I don't think J.P.I.C.O is around tonight, but one of the things he was on about was the case. And as you can see, the case, we have sort of sanded this a little bit down to, I think we used initially it was what grit was it? It was basically, we went 3 grades of grit. I think it was 600, then 800, and then up to 1,000. And we'll probably go a 3,000 grit just to give it its finishing touch. And as you probably remember from the last stream, there was a nasty scratch here and here, and some other marks, which, you know, was very deep. And it's still a faint scratch there, although you can't even feel it no more. But it's very faint, like the mark there. But we're hesitant to sand too much more because, I don't know if you can see, but on the edges, the veneer finish on it is starting to wear very thin. So we don't want to go through the veneer. So we're just going to concentrate in the worst areas, and then give it a take care of some of these light scratches, and then give it a degrease. And then we come to refinish this, which will be either a teak oil, I would say, or a Danish oil, maybe 3-4 coats of that, and then we can go with maybe a beeswax or something about a week later after that's cured, and give that a, you know, sort of good finish off. So yeah, work has progressed on that as well. And just in case J.P.I.C.O is either lurking or is gonna be part of the rewatch crew, as mentioned on the last stream, I know Mick from Chill and Relax is here. These are a pair, get them up here, of the original speakers that you would have originally got with one of these 8-track players. So, and as you can probably see, they're not in too bad a condition. We look at the casings, you know, they not too badly scratched on any of the sides really. There's a few marks here and there, but again, give it the same treatment. We'll sand it, we'll make it match the actual unit with the same finish. We'll take all this, we'll strip all this, although they're in good condition, we'll just give them a wash and then put them all back, you know, so it's at a full refurb. The other thing I like about these speakers is they've got these keyholes cut into them, which you don't see on a lot of speakers. You can just literally hang them on the wall. So that's another neat little feature. So both speakers, as I said, this one does have a little ding in the top, but we should be able, with sanding and stuff and a bit of sawdust, a bit of glue, should be able to fill all that. Again, it's not in too bad a condition. And for its day, these are 8 ohm speakers and they're 25 watts. So that ain't too bad, you know. So it's that was a nice score. I was very lucky to find these, as Chill and Relax will tell you. Finding original parts to go with equipment that you're restoring is like looking for a needle in a haystack. So that is another good score. So next, what we're going to have a look at is, we're just going to see if we can get inside this motor, if it will let us, just so we can service it a bit, because when I was turning it, there's a little tiny bit of play there, but it just feels a little bit gritty, grimy. So hopefully we can sort of get into it. And as you can see already, that state of that casing, not just on this side but on the inside, if we slide it up, you'll see how that's looking. The motor itself has got some little light rust marks, but again, this one says 21st of February 73, so again it was built pretty much the same sort of time. So let's have a progress a little bit further, if it will let us get into that. Now we should just be able to loosen these ones. And give it a little twist. Maybe it'll let us. No, it's not going to let us. Okay then, so let's take them out. Some of these motors, they have like a little notch where you can just twist and then they pull apart. This is like a bit like a motor in a motor. And there we go, we've got the inside of the motor. And there's a little cap in there which is ceramic capacitor. But there is, I don't know if it's showing on camera as much as it is in person, but there is like a bit of dirt and debris in around there. But the contacts don't look too bad. They just look a little bit black, a little bit dirty. And that is also showing like on, let's pull this out. Get that out of there. As you can see on this part here, this is that black mark there, basically showing where the black brushes were running against it. So again, it's still in pretty good nick inside. That's the main thing. For anybody that hasn't seen the inside of a motor, that's what basically one looks like. And you can see the caps. As I was explaining to Mick a while ago on, I think it was a motor that was for a record deck, inside the motor there's caps that can go bad, which is where basically they're hiding like this inside the motor. So again, those will have to be checked. And this is just the magnet which we can clean, and then you've got your main bearing motor in the end there, which is this one, which we'll clean that up and oil that, you know, just gentle bit of watch oil in there, and on the shaft, and then just give these a clean up, and we'll reassemble it all. So that will be the next project, especially this ring here that's for some reason must have got damp, must have been kept in a damp environment maybe, because this is just like a steel ring, and exposed to damp or whatever, that would just go rusty. Whereas this is like a plated, it's like a zinc, I think they call it a zinc plated, so it's a bit more resilient to rust. But if you can see, if you can get the light in there, let me grab a torch a minute, shine it in there, but you can see some of the rust residue around that rubber that's at the bottom there. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why, you know, you can't just like drop a bit of lubricant on the motor and call it done. You've got to sort of really get into them, especially when they're at this age. So yeah, all these parts now basically need to be stripped and have a really good bath and soak, and then we will get back to putting it all back together on, well, we'll start putting it back together on the next stream, which I've ordered all the capacitors and some grommets and bits and pieces for this, so that we can start the reassembly. And by the time you see all these again, these will all be nice and clean and crisp. and then we'll reassemble the motor with a bit of little bit of like clock oil, making sure that these brushes are okay, and reassemble it all. We'll reassemble the mechanism and get that all back together, and then we'll progress from there forward until it's fully assembled, which then we have the fun part of setting up all the head alignment and putting it on the signal generators and stuff like that, and checking all the settings are right. So that will be the fun part, but this is all the grubby part, which is the strip down, the clean, which is time consuming. It takes a lot of time, and it's not something that you can just do in a day and have done with it. It's something that takes time. So like these rubbers here, see, a lot of them are like, this one's okay, it's not too bad. There is a little bit of a perish on it, but we'll get away with that, with a little bit of what they call it, rubber renewal stuff put on there. It'll lubricate that a little bit. Same for that one down in there. Feels pretty good and still feels soft, so that's good. I don't think this has gone past the point of saving. Some people would say it's not worth it. Where do you draw the line? But then the same argument is with people that restore classic cars. Where do they stop? They just spend thousands of pounds on restoring a classic car, but is it worth it in the end? And yeah, you're probably never going to get your money back, but you're going to end up with something that's going to outlive you, essentially, and give somebody some great entertainment along the way. So yeah, it's a short stream, I'm afraid, but it was just basically bringing you up to speed with where we're at, and now we're at the full cleaning stage. I've ordered the parts from AliExpress, which means it's anybody that knows AliExpress knows we're going to have a little bit of a weight on our hands. So it's basically going to be the waiting game now for AliExpress to deliver before we can sort of schedule the next stream. Once the parts arrive though, all these will be clean and ready to reassemble on the next stream. So the next stream will be starting to put things back together again, which is the fun bit, watching it sort of slowly come back to life. Thanks for all of you that have joined, and thanks for sort of being patient, and I hope I haven't bored you to death too much. What else? Did we get anybody else in? Princess DJ's in here. Nigel, this is really entertaining to watch and interesting. Okay. Amazing stream. It's P.I.T.C.O very dedicated. I'm great, thank you. The restoration you did on the other radio was phenomenal. Thank you. Okay, well, again, thanks all for joining, and hope you enjoyed watching and I didn't bore you too much. And the next one hopefully should be a lot more enjoyable, because it's the part where we're putting everything back together, or starting to put everything back together anyway. So until the next one, have a good one, guys.
Lights hot and the coffee strong. Got an old dead stereo barely hanging on. People keep saying, man, that thing's done, but I just grin and say, watch me, son. Got belts all melted and the caps blown out. Static in the speakers and a power supply shout. But I got a solder gun and a steady hand, bringing old hi-fi back across the land. We're fixing what they say can't be fixed, bringing old school sound back into the mix. Them big chrome knobs and the walnut wood, making that old stereo sound real good. Rolling through crackle, hiss and hum, doing what they say can't be done. Yeah, we're bringing that old gear back around, getting fixed up and loud. Got a Pioneer receiver, click, 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 and cassette deck belts all stretched and slipping. Everybody says, boy, just throw it away, but it'll shake the walls before the end of the day. Now the shop's full up with parts and wires, burnt resistors and tired transistors, but when them they say can't be fixed. Bringing old school sound back into the mix. Them silver face stacks and the amber lights gonna rock this town all through the night. Rolling through crackle, hiss and hum, doing what they say can't be done. Yeah, we're bringing that old gear back around, getting fixed up and loud. Yeah, now folks keep buying them little plastic speakers, but them old heavy amplifiers, man, they got soul. We're fixing what they say can't be fixed, keeping vintage audio alive in the mix. From reel to reel to a big tube amp, we'll fire it up if there's half a chance. Rolling through crackle, hiss and hum, doing what they say can't be done. Yeah, the old school sound still draws a crowd, getting fixed up